Good morning. Welcome to Tarot Time, the last Tarot Time of 2025. So we'll do a little bit of a year roundup, a little bit of predictive stuff for 2026. And we do the forecast for the week, the energy update. I do meditation card. So Spirit gives us a focal point for our meditations for the coming week. I have other divination tools. And near the end, we'll do a little mini energy transmission to just kind of charge up our energetic fields to align us with these new energies that are coming in. So depending on what comes out in tarot time, that'll dictate what theme that we use. I need some water already. And that's basically it. So we also have our little community chat here on Sunday mornings. And we just had 13 inches of snow where I live in the Catskill Mountains. So it's quite beautiful. Now we're expecting a little bit of ice and rain. So never a dull moment. And one of the things that we had talked about for the December psychic forecast, as well as the winter 2025-26, is a lot of weather anomalies, a lot of storms, a lot of, with the polar vortex, very weak. That means that there's more cold air intrusions, there's more storminess, all that. And we're seeing that. But anyway, let me say a few quick hellos, then we're going to dive right in. So if those that are watching as a video, I'll be right with you, but we like to give the live people a moment to get their notifications. So hello, Beverly. I think you're in UK, right? Hello, Kaya. Let's see where you are. We have snow today, calm now, but windless. Yeah, we're going to get some big winds here also. Hello, Colleen. Welcome. And let's see, peace, please. Hello. And hello, Juice. I think that's Justine, but I might be, if I'm getting your name wrong, I apologize. Peace, please, yes. And hello, Millie. Hello to all that enters. I'm cooking breakfast. Well, it's about that time, right? Hello, Lisa. And who else? Kaya. All right. So not a lot of people are on yet. Let's see. Gray Wendini. Hello, Gray Wendini from Austin. Nice. And hello, Katie and Kathleen. Some people are finding us. So you got 5 inches where you are. Yeah, officially it was 13.1 inches in Phoenicia, though I don't think they measure right in Phoenicia where I live. I think it's up in Lanesville, which is a little higher up. So, we may have gotten a foot instead of 13 inches here, but whatever. It's a lot of snow. I did a lot of shoveling, a lot of clearing of cars yesterday. Got my workout, and all is good. So, I just think what's going on. I know that there's a lot going on with the weather, obviously, a lot going on with changes in AI, but there's something in particular. I can't think of what it is. And sometimes on the Sunday morning, I'm a little bit foggy because it's my Saturday after doing a lot of readings during the week. But I know that there's a couple of very specific things that are happening, and I can't even think of it. So let me just see what you guys are saying for a second, then we'll dive right on in. It's beautiful up here in the Catskills, though. Some of the snow is going to melt and then turn to ice, and we're going to get some pretty big winds. So there's that going on, and I'm going to shovel snow later and hopefully lose some. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. Well, other things to worry. That was in the city. Central Park picked up about 4.3 inches. So I do my forecasts, except for that area. I was predicting 6 to 10 inches in that area. They only got 4 inches. But up here in the Catskills, I predicted 10 to 15. We got 13 in my location. So I like to do psychic weather forecasts too and tap into my knowledge of meteorology because I actually graduated in 1980 with a BA in meteorology. So I trained in that. It's interesting. It's a bachelor's of art, but it's clearly a science. But in any event, that is the deal. So let's see. what else going on? I just can't think right now. My brain needs to come back online here. Uh, but yeah, we definitely have. Yeah, we've had, yeah, the whole thing with Three Eye Atlas that's starting to pull away from the Earth and the Sun and heading towards Jupiter now, right on course. So it hasn't altered its course, it hasn't changed directions, and is going to hit the moon or anything that you've been seeing. I think one of the main topics is going to be AI and how to regulate AI, because it's really out of control on YouTube, for example. It's just like all the slop that comes on, and it kind of clogs things up a little bit. It makes it a little bit harder for those of us that really want to be more organic and to share like real information with the world to help people. And there's a lot of interference, so that's just what's manifesting. There's a lot of energetic interference also, and a lot of a lot of suppression of the process that we're in, which is an ascension and an awakening. So as we come in to the new year, we come out of the year of the snake, so we're shedding our skin and getting ready to ride on our horse. It's the fire horse. So it's going to be much more action, and I'm very hopeful. I think some amazing things are going to happen. There's a lot of challenges we're going to need to get through, a lot of changing of the world. And now I just remember the main thing. I didn't check the price of silver this morning, but it's gone way, way, way up. And I think that's one of the main things. And one of the things I think is going to happen in 2026 is there's going to be a stronger push to get out of the fiat financial system and back into real currency. We haven't had like real currency since 1971. To be clear, when President Nixon took the U.S. dollar off of the gold backing, it became the fiat dollar. Then it was backed by the petrodollar, which is just basically like a plug for the oil companies and the Bushes and Rockefellers and Rothschilds and all the families and factions that ran the oil back in the day. But the thing is that silver is starting to be appreciated for the value that it truly has. Back in the day when currency was new, silver would be about 1/15 the value of gold or thereabouts. What is it today? It's gone up, but it was almost like a hundredth of the value. So, I mean, silver should be, even in modern era, if you take the ratios from 1900, silver should already be about 150 an ounce. So it's way, the ratio is way behind. And then silver's using a lot of technology and it's been undervalued. So this is, I mean, I didn't know why. I just got intuitive hits to invest in silver. And that was back in 2022, 2023, thereabouts. So I got in when it was 22, 23 an ounce. And, I recommended a lot of people do that on the channel. Some of you did, and I'm sure you're happy now. I mean, there have been other things. Gold has done very well also. And the thing is that this is true. This is the true money, the true value. Financial, like currencies and stuff like that, especially if they're not connected to the real wealth. I mean, they can print money, they can do this, that, or the other thing, but the standard of wealth has always been gold and metals. I think copper is going to be, going to somehow lean in towards being a precious metal before too much longer. Maybe not in 2026, just because it's very highly used, and I think it's becoming more rare. And with the more technology, AI, and microchips, and computer parts and auto parts and whatever, copper is very, very conductive. So is silver. Gold is too, but gold's really expensive. Silver's cheaper, so silver is being used, but silver corrodes. Copper corrodes even quicker. Gold doesn't. So gold will be ideal to be used, but silver is what's used and copper is next. So it's good to understand that the metal will always hold its value. Currency will go up and down. Metal will always hold its value. So at the end of the day, that's always, a good grounded investment. So anyway, I think more people are on now. Let me see what you guys are saying. Then we're going to dive into some tarot. So hello, Michael. So it's currently 79.48. Very good. Gold is 455. Yeah, like I said, if I had invested in gold at the time, my investment would have more than doubled, but my investment of silver is almost quadrupled. It's more than tripled. So either way, it's good. Whatever metal, and I want to, even if it's expensive, when I get a little bit more money, I still just want to have gold. So that might be next. I might invest in more silver. So some people were, asking me, do I see silver going down? And yeah, there's always going to be a sell-off period. It probably will trend downward a little bit, but I wouldn't wait at this point. When it's back, or going into the 60s, they said, it might trend back into the 40s or 50s. I mean, it trended back maybe $5 for about a week, and then it shot back up again. So my feeling about that is, don't wait around. There's a chance that silver could go into the hundreds, into the 200s, maybe even more. We'll see exactly how things trend. I don't think like $300 or $400 an ounce is outrageous to project that over the next few years anyways. I think that's the world we're going into. And also, I hate to say this, but as long as there's a lot of active war going on the planet, there's going to be a need for industrial silver, because silver goes into weapons and technology and all that kind of stuff. So, getting pure silver, 99.99% silver is pure silver. I think it's a really good investment. So anyway, what else are you guys saying? And then we're going to go into tarot. So hello, Karen. And in the case of long-term power outage, it is much easier to barter silver ounces. And Michael's saying, not sure where SD Bullion is getting that from. Okay, I don't know what exactly what I'm missing some of that. According to Kiko, bid for silver 29.27, buys at 20.32. All right. I think it touched 80 last night, so it's always going to go a little bit up and down, right? We'll say. And Colleen's asking for all good thoughts and healings and vibes. So you got that. And Michael's saying, hi, Victor, by the way, if I didn't say hi to you earlier. Meditation was lovely last night. I'm glad that it came up on my screen at the right time. So those of you that have YouTube channels, we're all a big community around here. You all have different things to share. You're welcome to post your well, you can't really link on this format, but you're welcome to post the name of your YouTube channel, so maybe people will see that and want to subscribe. But where are you seeing that? So Michael's saying the financial system will be digital currency powered by distributive ledger blockchain technology. I think you're onto something, absolutely. And it's good for me and other people to read up on exactly what that means. So that way we know what's going on, because it's, I'm 67, us old timers, this is like digital. What the heck? WTF is going on in this world? Blockchains, ledgers, what the freaking hell? But in any event, Ricky, okay. Oh, sending lots of Reiki and good wishes to what's your daughter's name? Ricky? Did you say Ricky? Yeah. And I always muscle tested for the good time silver, getting it. Yes. Yeah, that's what I think. Even though it's gone up, I still think it's a good investment. Yeah, exactly. No, and high note noticing guy. Noticing GOY. Okay, hi. All right, gold 453. Yes. Well, that too, yeah. And that's really, and I don't really. I mean, I'm aware of like the different political sides and what they believe, and I'm well aware that back in the day that it's mostly the Q, right? The Q um, that they were talking about silver. That like all other like groups or organizations that predict things in the future. Some of the stuff verified, some of it didn't. But in the case of silver, hats off to them. That is showing signs of really verifying it at this time, and I think it's going to continue to go in that direction. Basically, I think was it the Looking Glass also had some similar information about that. I try to touch in on all these prophecies. Like I said, from Nostradamus to Edgar Casey to Baba Vanga to all of them, they've had their hits and they had things that didn't hit. And I do forecasts too. I've had hits. I've had things that didn't hit in my forecasts in the future also. But the idea of if you're able to really understand the energies and what that means, because time is fluid, and if we change the energy in the now, because all time is happening in the now, that's going to change the outcomes moving forward. So really the gift of prophecy to me is understanding the energies and how that plays out moving forward. But if you change those energies in the now, it's going to play out differently. So that's basically that. So let's do some tarot stuff. So does that mean that that's going to increase or decrease? I heard that about China also. I mean, to me, that sounds like it would go up if they're blocking that. When things get scarce, prices go up, right? And Michael Marr, who definitely has his finger on the pulse of the economy. Its metals have the investment component, but understand they are already wealth and a hedge against inflation. Yeah, they cannot bankrupt or revolt. Yeah, I'm so happy. And, I got my silver based on a very generous donation from one of you guys. The person's not on the live stream now. And I think she prefers, well, she, all right, so what gender, prefers anonymity with that. But that's how I was able to purchase a kilo of silver. And even though it's just a kilo, now I have, a bar that's worth over $3,000 sitting in my home that was purchased for a little bit over 800. If the shit really hits the fan, I have my security. I have that, right? So that like Michael was saying, that's really one of the benefits of it, that they already are wealth. And dollars, the yen, the euro, it's going to go up and down, but this is really wealth. And that's where and it's always been that way, that the global wealth has always been based on the metals, and there've been offshoots of the metals, basically. So yeah, prayers for the dog, Ricky. Good. That's not good that he's in pain, though. Definitely not. All right. Peace of mind is price. Exactly. It's just another measure of peace of mind. I do feel like we have help from our guides, our angels, the extraterrestrial, the star beings. I don't think we're going to get into that dire situation where everything's lost and we've got to start over again. It just doesn't feel like that would be resonant with the ascension process that we're going under. Then that's not to say that we won't have setbacks or we won't have tastes of what it's like to go back into more communal or tribal living. That may be beneficial for the ascension, but I just don't see it going like a solar flare, wiping the grid out for years. I just don't see that. Now, that said, we have to understand it's still possible. We live in a very vulnerable, very, what's the right, tenuous? Is that the right word? I mean, I feel like Spirit's talking to me. So I feel like they're saying, and I'm just saying, we're sitting ducks, basically. We hear about the Great Carrington event, right, in 1859. They reclassified that as an X-80 flare, I think. I mean, with the magnetic field 15% weaker approximately than it was back then, an event like that, and the fact that it's all satellites. Another thing we're going to hear a lot about, sneak preview of the 2026 forecast, is the problem with space metals, with all these Starlinks. You know, our high-speed internet, our 5G, maybe there's a 6G coming, or cell phones, that comes at a heavy price because we have the Starlinks. God, so many satellites. Like, you can't, like, after sunset, when the sun's still shining in the realm of the beyond the upper atmosphere, it's just like one after another. You see satellites all over the freaking sky. Though their orbits degenerate, they burn up in the atmosphere. These metals precipitate into the stratosphere and eventually get caught up in the weather system, eventually come to Earth. Plus, there's all kinds of space junk. And it's a rocket launch now could involve like a rocket hitting some space junk. Goodbye rockets. So I think we're going to see about plans on how to clean up space. And that's outer space. What about inner space? You don't hear a lot about the problems with plastics, but there are operations to clean up the ocean. That's going to happen in space also. So it's an interesting time. And then we're going to hear about water wars with the AI. Those huge freaking generators, they use evaporative cooling so that they don't overheat. Where you get evaporative cooling from water, so water wars, all that's on the table. It's just what we're going to see in the next several years, to cut to the chase. And I promise we're getting to tarot, is the aftermath of an extremely short-sighted civilization that we live in. It's like they don't think ahead, basically. The plan thing, they don't think ahead, like the consequences that are going to happen. Well, we're going to have to answer to some of those consequences over the next several years. But that said, we're in an ascension. It's a beautiful energy that we're coming into. There's just a lot of resistance, so there's a lot of chaos. Stay in your heart, stay the course, do your meditations, do your visualization, expand your field, open the heart, do your heart-brain coherence, and become a beacon of light. And when you open to that higher light, the higher light finds you, and then you're able to help others that way. So that it's a beautiful process, and more people are waking up to it right now. Data centers aren't sustainable, right? But meanwhile, it's like project or what is it? Stargate project. That was something that was talked about when President Trump was inaugurated, and how we're gonna build these AI networks. We're gonna use AI technology with the mRNA vaccine technology to ward off cancer and stuff like that. And I'm not making a political statement or anything like that, because all politicians lie. It's just part of the creed. But I'd heard about that mRNA vaccines are bad from that political viewpoint. But now it's like part of a whole like agenda. So it's like, who do you trust when they're telling you something? And it's not just this administration, it's all of them. And this is why I encourage people to transcend the politics. Be aware of it. It's fine to have we all have our ideologies, right? Certain candidates or certain parties will reflect that more than others. It's fine to have your preferences or whatever, but my feeling is to transcend all that and to just understand that really they're two sides of the same. What was the old Native American meme? What if I was to tell you that the right wing and the left wing belong to the same bird? And I like to add the filthy, dirty, corrupt bird at that. So sometimes I'll just say, well, are you right winged or left wing? What flavor of corruption do you prefer? Basically, One's a little bit more covert, one's a little bit more in your face, but I think the idea is to be in the heart, be in the center. From the heart, you can't be programmed. Hearts cannot be programmed. And the heart and the brain are actually connected. So if you're more in the heart, you start to purge the programming from the subconscious. You start to see reality more of what it is rather than what we're programmed to believe. And then you can take it from there, right? So anyway, hello, Drew. Hello. Anybody else that got in? Two wings of the same bird, exactly. No, noticing. And thank you, Michael, for that. And thanks for turning us on to different aspects of the economy also. All right. So moving right along. So we'll pull a meditation card, and the idea is I'm asking Spirit to give us the right card to tap into these very unique energies that are happening right now, projecting into the week ahead. Give us a focal point for our meditations. All right, now I need to clear my mind. Okay, I went to a card. Oh, I like this one. So I'm using the Morgan Greer deck, not the Hanson Roberts like I usually do. So I decided to break out this deck. Sun card. Well, Sun is number one in numerology. It's we're still we're kind of starting to trend out of the solstice season. After around January 4th or 5th, we're sort of out of that energy, and we're starting to notice lengthening days as we get to January, mid-January, especially because the solar day is not exactly 24 hours. So sunsets, as right now, even sunrises are trending later in the morning, but sunsets are trending later as well. The latest sunrise is I think January the 4th. The earliest sunset was December the 8th. But of course, the shortest day is December the 21st in Northern Hemisphere. So the sun is our, that's our spirit, our life, right? The sun, I think I was planning on talking a little bit more about the sun, and now that reminded me, I think we're coming into the next 2 to 3 weeks of the next uptick of solar flare activity. There hasn't been any. Well, there's an M5 off the eastern limb yesterday, but there hasn't really been any activity. A few filament ejections. The coronal hole stream that was anticipated only produced a G1, and that was only spotty. So I don't think the space weather scientists quite understand the phenomena of the coronal holes. I mean, we know that it's a magnetic flux and sends magnetism out into the galaxy. So with the magnetics, it kind of creates this it's not really a hole, it's just a lowering of the density of the sun's corona, which is basically the atmosphere of the sun, which, by the way, is many, many times hotter than the surface of the sun. So it's really all plasma. And it was trans-equatorial. It was big. It was right in the prime zone. And then it was like, what's the new expression? Nothing burger, basically, just a little bit of a drop off of the plasma density, but nothing big. We've had a few 6+ earthquakes the last few days, so we may be coming into another period of higher activity. Sun and the earth, they do a dance. They're not separate. It's like everything moves in cycles and waves. Everything has it's cycles upon cycles. There's slow cycles, there's fast cycles. Everything moves in cycles. There's solar cycles or earth cycles or whatever. We also have big planetary outer planet alignments coming, from now through February. There's a big one right in the second week of January where we have, it's Venus and Mars are conjunct with Jupiter in opposition, Mercury's not quite conjunct yet, but it's coming into a superior conjunction at that time. And the planets, they're energetic. They have a frequency and a signal that's not yet able to be measured, but we've known for many thousands of years that they communicate on a vibrational language. Um, but there is measurable electromagnetism, gravity, which is a much weaker force than magnetism, that these planets have their own signatures. So when they line up in certain ways, it affects the energies on the Earth and the sun also. So there's a tendency for solar activity to increase when we have these alignments. 3i Atlas is still close enough where it's influencing the inner solar system electromagnetically, and we have the two biggest sunspot groups getting ready to rotate back into Earth view, and they'll be Earth effective in about a week to 10 days. It's about roughly a week where it's in that sweet spot or that zone. So we'll see what happens. But we could have some pretty interesting, strong X-class flares coming back, especially right around or after the new year. So anyway, that's the sun. Back to meditation. So key 19, it's a number 1 in numerology. And the sun is basically health, it's life, it's expression. And when you go into your meditation, you can meditate on this card by just getting very relaxed, present, and open, gauging what you feel. Then in your mind, stepping into the card, gauging what you feel when you step in, and see what message you get. What other beings. These could be a couple of spirit guides. In this particular deck, some decks they show a horse with a child or a baby on it. So there's different interpretations of the card in different decks. But this one is male, female, maybe 2 males or 2 females, but it looks male or female. They're kind of gazing at each other. What else is going on? And there it looks. Oh, there's a lot of sunflowers. That's what it is. Which So again, so blessings of the sun, and we could use that right now. The brightness, the warmth, the giver of life, all that kind of stuff. New life, new birth. So when you meditate, see what messages you get from the energy of the sun card. You may meet up with spirit guides or stuff like that. But this is often about joyfulness, happiness, raising our energies. Don't be afraid to be, have your day in the sun. All that kind of symbolism comes up. So let me just see what you guys are saying, and then I'll do a 3 card spread. That's next on our agenda. 11:33. Vivian, okay. Dogs can benefit from that. And hi Betsy, welcome. And some divine healing. Oh yes, COVID. Yeah, I've had it. I'm pretty sure 3 times. Oh, you're in Troy. So you're not that far from me in the Catskills. Oh, that's a good point. It's that solar plex. So solar plex is our sense of faith, courage, strength, will, all those good things. You need, we talk a lot about heart-brain coherence. Well, you need a strong solar plex in order to really be able to tap into the energies of the heart. There's a reason that in a lot of the yogic traditions that they will develop the chakras from the root to the sacral to the solar plex and then to the heart, then throw third eye and crown in the major chakra system. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, a good message. Maybe as you step in, work on the solar plexus because it gets attacked in the society. When we have things like chronic anxiety, depressions, other things like adrenal issues, digestive issues, things like that. It's usually because the solar plex is too weak or too strong. And if one chakra is out of balance, the whole system's out of balance because they're not isolated. They're part of a whole, just like we're all part of a whole. So everything, moves in synchronicity with each other and works together. So, you go to a healer, they'll say, well, your root is out of balance, but all your other chakras are fine. But if you go to me, I'll say your root is out of balance, which means your entire chakra system's out of balance. So your entire system needs to be worked on, not just that one area, but we'll focus on the area that's showing the most imbalance or maybe precipitating the imbalance of the other area. So if it's the root, that means that we don't feel secure. Maybe my root chakra is a little better because I have silver. I have a greater sense of security right now. Well, whatever it is. But anyway, that's a good point. So, what else are we guys saying? Son, all that solar plex. Yeah. And then Michael saying it's good. 110 silver round or junk. It is good to either have 110 silver round or junk silver. I have to learn more about that. I've heard that expression. Yeah, I agree. It's like unless my survival depends on it, I'm holding on to what I have. In fact, I'm going to get more of it. Yes, much love. Yes. Let's do a 3 card spread. This will maybe give us some insights into the energies of the week coming up. We have New Year's Eve Thursday, right? Wednesday, excuse me. New Year's Day is on Thursday. So it's a big transformation out of a universal 9 year where we're completing a cycle into a universal 1 year. It's actually a universal 19 year. The Sun card is key 19. No, I'm sorry, it's a 10. It reduces to 1. My bad. But still, 10 reduces to 1 also. How do we get that? If anybody doesn't know, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we come in and we start to build, we start to break ground this winter on building a new foundation in our society. So we last had a 1 numerological year in 2017. And Donald Trump was sworn in for his first term when he was president number 45. He's now number 47. And then before that, 2008, right? Yeah, 2 plus 8 is 10. Obama was elected then, right, in 2008 for his first term. And then 1999, what happened in 99? That was the last 1 year. I don't know, something happened, but anyway, Bush was elected in 2000. That wasn't 1999. And sworn in 01, I think. I'm getting my timing confused. Well, but anyways, and then this number 1 year, interesting. Something new's happening. Are we gonna? Is there going to be a new president? We'll talk more about that Tuesday night. That's when I'm going to do the live 2026 psychic forecast right here on the media channel. 7 p.m. this Tuesday. Or actually, I might do 8 p.m. That does not overlap. Laura of Let Spirit Guide, she does readings from 7 to 8 on her channel. I might do 8 o'clock. But Tuesday's the day. It's kind of the only day that I have free to do that, or evening this coming week. All right, so let me clear my mind. Oh my gosh, I love the color gold. Maybe you're trying to invest in gold. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate you. Thanks for the donation. I think one of the things that you're reminding me to just say that one of the things that we're going to do in January sometimes, I'll have a reading night like we do our mediumship nights. I did one, a few what was it, on the 22nd, right before Christmas, and I was exhausted. That wasn't, of the medium sessions I've done here, there's some that I'm very proud of. That wasn't one of them, although we had about 2 or 3 amazing moments in that one. But we do that 8 times a year. But this time I think I'll do either direct messages from spirit, or using cards and let people ask questions. And the reason that the super sticker is reminding me of that is because I get to see those. So when we do that, I mean, I don't want to make people feel obligated to donate, but I would prioritize the donations for the questions. Because it's fair, I guess, to do that if people are donating money, to be prioritized. But also, it's much easier for me to see if there's a lot of activity on my chat. Thank you, Millie, for that. And Betsy's saying also buying stocks in the silver. Oh, that's pretty smart. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Yeah. They're going to need to mine more, a lot of the rare earth minerals as technology continue to advance. I mean, these AI stations are ridiculous. I mean, not only the water problem with water, but just the resources that they use. It's like I don't think people really. I mean, I don't fully understand it myself. I don't think people really understand the ramifications of what's going on. And then the smart cities and the rebuilding of Gaza, that was another thing that comes up. The U.S. wants to invest how much to make that a big smart city in the resort area when there's $38 trillion in debt. And in debt to who, though? In debt to who? I think it's all a scam. If we get back to, I mean, there'll still be debts or whatever, but if we can get out of the fiat system and back into a more quantum system, I think that's going to change that whole like national debt philosophy a lot. But again, not really my field. All right, clearing my mind. 3 card spread. 1, 2, 3. I mean, they're just seeing this image of a motorcade, almost like the JFK assassination. We're getting some pretty interesting cards too. Hopefully, there won't be an issue of an assassination attempt or anything like that. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 1. So this is the Hangman reversed. Hangman's reversed. So that's the Hangman is also been a suspension, a pause. So when it's reversed, it's almost like the figures coming out of that tree. That could be a depiction of the god Odin, who my son's named after. And that's a Norse god, father of Thor. That what I'm not remembering too clearly all the myths. But hanging, upside down from the tree to gain knowledge. So that could be representing a pause, a sacrifice of sorts. It's key 12 in Major Arcana. Then the 10 of Swords. It's like, even though that's a pretty, what's the right word? Gnarly? Is that a good word? There's a word that I can't think of. Foreboding. There's always going to be light on the horizon. It's always like a death of the old. So we may get some pretty heavy news or some truth bombs coming out this week or the following week. But this is a good card of establishment. This is a good outcome card. And I just think that something's going to happen. Somebody's going to be taking a fall. I mean, I don't know if this is something with the Epstein list that certain this has been on Psychic Forecast also here on the channel, that if they choose who the fall guys are going to be to protect the really big players, because as we know, it's all conjecture until we have definitive proof, but there's certainly compelling evidence that's piling up, I might add, that some very, very high level figures on both party lines are connected to the Epstein. And we have a sitting president now that had a long-term friendship with the most notorious, child abuser, human trafficker of all times. And there's no evidence to support that he was ever on the island, by the way. So, not innocent until proven guilty. So I've not seen any evidence. I mean, things have come out, but people talk. But the point being, dealing with the facts and the evidence. The only fact that gets my attention is the friendship was known. There's no way somebody that's a good friend that you don't know. Oh, I didn't know that my 11-year friend that I rode airplanes with and was at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, I didn't know that he was trafficking children. It's like, really? But the point being is, and this is not against Donald Trump, by the way. It's the system. This is where I'm going with this. We have a system that allowed somebody that had knowledge of nefarious activities with high-level officials was allowed to be on the ballot to run for president of the United States. And if people can really just let the obvious just sink in about that and just realize it's not him. It's not him. It's not Biden. It's not it's the system that allows this to happen. And, it's like, how would they not know certain people are involved? So, this is corruption on a scale that's just unbelievable. But anyway, I'm digressing a little bit, but not really. This could be exposure. This is also for us, I'd say, let the old fall. This is the time. We're finishing up the year of the snake. Yeah, we still have another month or so. The snake sheds skin. It transmutes poisons to medicine. It's transmutation, transformation. It's a very heavy energy after the year of the dragon. After we get this impulse of this high vibrational dragon energy, this is shedding skin. Then we come into the year of the horse. So we shed the skin so we can ride on our fire horse. So that's very energetic action, activity, energy. So I think it's telling us to, focus a little bit more on the shadow work, about the clearing, shedding that old skin. What stories have we held in our subconscious that have clogged our fields and caused us to be ill on different levels? Go into that, and the way to do that is you don't try to release it, or you don't try to chase it away. What you want to do is understand it. So what I would do is ask spirit. I'll go into meditation, ask spirit, and maybe this will be our guided meditation and our activation. I think we're going to actually do this, so I won't explain it too much. We're actually going to do it in a few minutes. But the idea is, what I want to do is I want to just, all right, so where in my body do I feel your emotions? Your physical body or your emotions will express the shadows in some way or another. So it's like, where do I feel it in my body? Right. All right. Right now I'm doing this. It's on the left side near my heart chakra. All right. So left side of my heart chakra. To me, left is the past. It's also the divine feminine, because in this culture we read left to right. So of course all time happens now. So this is where it is, something that's affecting my heart, my ability to be open, to love, to express, all that stuff. So the next thing is I want to just embrace it. I want to feel the energy of this. I want to maybe give it a shape and a color. This is my power attunements technique. And then I want to maybe bring this into my heart and assimilate it into my whole being and absorb it into my being, and just let any density release as I'm absorbing this energy. So in other words, I want to befriend it. I want to understand. I want to feel its energy. I want to feel its resonance. I want to feel its vibration. I want to allow it to become one with me. And by doing that, I'm able to transcend it. So it's not really so much like releasing, it's embracing. And when you do that, then you know what aspect of that to release. It'll almost happen on its own. I mean, release work is very powerful also. So, it's good to have the yin and the yang to balance these things out. But I would start with embracing it, befriending it, understand its resonance and its frequency, not intellectually, but intuitively. And then once you have that, you learn the lessons, and then it releases. So anyway, I think that's telling us to do that. And I think we're going to get something pretty big in the news, but I think it's going to, because threes expand and grow. I think whatever comes out is actually going to cause people to have a little bit more hope. It's expansive. This might help the economy at the end. We might see some crashing or resetting of the economy. We're going to see a lot of that. We're seeing a lot like in Japan, right, in China, and some of those markets are really very volatile. So I think that kind of volatility it affects the economy, obviously, and I think this is the time to really let go and embrace pain and challenges. Not that because we love it, but because like one of my all-time favorite songs from one of my all-time favorite albums is called The Carpet Crawlers, from the album The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by the band Genesis. For those of you that aren't quite as old as me, you may not know that. The line is, you've got to get in to get out. It's a song about conception. Obviously, you've got to get in to get out. And that's really what it is. You can't escape anything. We're not here in this physical reality to escape. We're here to embrace. We're here to understand our karma during this time where we're meant to transcend the old earth and go into new earth. That means thousands of years of karma are being experienced in this lifetime, not to torture us, not to punish us, but to enlighten us so that we can step out of that energy. We can learn and grow, and that grade, what's that? First grade is over. Then we go into second grade. So anyway, I think this is kind of what that's telling, but I think there's going to be some pretty big truth bombs, maybe a hit on the economy. I think this is also going to show a little bit more with countries struggling. That could be Russia, Ukraine, but this becomes, I think after maybe especially devastating battles, we go back into peace. I think Zelensky and Trump are meeting in Florida, so there's movement in that direction. At least I know it's a show, so at least cosmetically there's moves. But it wouldn't be happening cosmetically if there weren't things going on behind the scenes. So war is a business, and if you understand it that way, you can have a better idea of why things happen the way they are and what's going on in the world. And wars are decided, I believe, anyways. This is my educated opinion as well as my intuition. That it's decided behind closed doors. Ambassadors, countries, generals all meeting. I've had visions of this in the past, deciding how that's going to happen. Just like, what was it, 2022 when the war supposedly broke out in Russia, Ukraine, and then Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, the defense contractors were being commissioned for a long war. How did they know it was going to be a long war? We once had something called the 6-Day War back in the 1970s. How the heck did they know it was going to be a long war? It's a business, and it drives the economy. It drives the power, like who's going to be in control. So the flow or the direction of power gets driven by these. But real people die. Real people get displaced. Real people suffer. Does that enter the equation? Maybe as we evolve, it will. So let me do a little bit more. Phil Collins, yes, that was actually a Peter Gabriel song. Although after Phil Collins left the band, Gabriel left the band, Phil Collins, they did that song live, and Phil Collins, did Gabriel's vocals very nicely, I might add. And did you please? I had a dream. I was at a wedding, and a white horse came over with the love and wanted a kiss. And in some decks, that Sun card, which we pulled originally, has a white horse in it. yeah, profit from the slaughter, right? And we just need to find a better way to live. Yeah, I do too. I love Peter Gabriel even more, although personality wise, maybe not as much, but he Peter Gabriel's so good. Phil Collins has a sweeter voice, but Peter Gabriel has a more of a full voice, in my estimation anyway. But they were both brilliant, and it's funny. I'll get back into tarot in a minute, but when he left the band, they were like auditioning different people because Phil Collins is the drummer, right? And did backup vocals, and he did a few leading vocals. Back in the Gabriel days, but also on his backup vocals. And it's just like they're just looking for people outside the band. Meanwhile, they had this guy who's a brilliant vocalist who sounds a lot like Peter Gabriel right there, and they finally used him. So anyway, I've seen Peter Gabriel half a dozen times. I've seen Genesis without Peter Gabriel too. I met and became somewhat friendly with Peter Gabriel's drummer, Jerry, what's his name? Murata. I mean, we be not friends, but we knew each other because both of our sons went to the same preschool in the Woodstock area. Was it the guitarist that passed? Or the bassist? I know somebody, and he was younger than me too. Yeah, but I know that he passed. Yeah, that's very sad. Yeah. So let's do let me see, what time is it? Let's do a couple of other things, and then we're gonna do what are we gonna do again? We'll do a little bit of we'll ask the master teacher to come through, do some energetic support, to vibrate at the level to make our to help us to release old shadows again, embrace it. You shine the light of awareness on a shadow, it's no longer a shadow. Just like if you shine a flashlight on a shadow, it gets integrated into the light. I use that metaphor a lot, but it's a good metaphor. I think if I explain it that way, people know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is Native American tarot. So let me clear my mind again. This card. So it's the Eight of something. The Eight of Hatchets, which I think is the Eight of Swords, which is about the limitation. It usually talk, and this is captive. Okay. So I think what they're trying to tell us is the part of the awareness is understand maybe how you're being held captive, or perhaps what we may hear of it are hostages being released. Yeah, that may be some big news that comes up. Maybe another round of hostages. I don't know if that's like Palestine, Israel, or if that's more Russia, Ukraine, or there's also the Korea, there's Africa, there's there's been was in Nigeria that an alleged ISIS encampment was raided by the U.S. Lots and lots going on, and this makes me feel more of Africa for some reason. Maybe that's going to be more in the news. What's in Nigeria? Are there perchance rare earth minerals in Nigeria, or something that could be exploited for the Western world? I don't know this. I just know how the world works. It's like an ISIS encampment in Nigeria. Well, there's probably 1,000 other ISIS encampments around the world. Why Nigeria? Just something say. Oh yeah, both Prince and Michael Jackson were born in 1958, the same year that I was born in. You may be right about that. I don't totally keep up on everything, but that's certainly possible. I know a lot of them were. Had a privilege of seeing them. Oh, nice. Probably rare earths, minerals. Yeah, good taste. I don't know who is Millie talking about. La. Yeah, Peter Gabriel was amazing. The Cure, yeah. Oh yeah, The Cure's from that genre, that era. That really is my favorite band, and I never got to see them. I got to see the Psychedelic Furs. They were great. I'm talking about that era of music. Um, but not the Cure, or not the Smiths, or the really the really top bands from that era. Well, the Psychedelic Furs were up there. They may not have been the Cure or the Smiths, but they were up there in that level, basically. But that, yeah, I'm willing to bet that there's always a reason. There's always a motivation. What was going on in Afghanistan back in the day? There's opium, right? You can go back and look at these different things, and see how resources get exploited, and how that happens in this world. Oh, no, another 58er. We're the same age. I know how old you are. Well, wait a second. You know how old I am too. Let me do. I always like to do the medicine cards. Let me do that. So to give us like some wisdom from the animals also. I'm seeing a porcupine, which are very gentle creatures, but they have good protection. So maybe psychically they're saying, to have our energetic protection. We need that with the earth and the craziness. They do try to energetically attack us through Wi-Fi signals, through this and the other thing, through subliminals and whatnot. And it's a lot of energetic distraction. It makes it harder to just clear everything and to meditate, have your shungite, or just create that bubble of energy around you. And just keep doing. If it gets harder, just keep breathing. It'll pass. And spirit's always going to be stronger, anyways. So let's see. We got the otter. Otters are very playful. We got otter not that long ago, and I've used these cards a lot since then. So it's not a matter of me not shuffling the card. Otters, I think that represents women's medicine, though I look at it as playfulness. Being lighthearted, being playful. But let me look in the book. Key 13. Oh, yeah, women medicine, and a lot of the the powerful women would have otter. I don't know if it's otter skin, or whatever it is. Hide, yeah. Yeah, you have the hide to make their medicine bag. So it's an acknowledgement that sometimes when we're talking a lot about war, which is more of like I don't want to say masculine energy, but we all have a divine feminine side, which is our intuition, our sense of compassion, our sense of inner knowing, our sense of receptiveness, and all that stuff. So I think this is just a message to honor that and to be playful. And a lot's changing in the world, but I feel like the message from honor is to be good to each other. People that are a little bit more, shall we say, aware, a little bit more connected to spirit, to be together. I don't know why, but they flash the number 32 in my mind. That could be like expanding on our relationships, because 2 is about relationship, 3 is about growth and expansion. And to really, and I think, this year we're going to be building our community here, and maybe adding some new events or stuff like that. And stuff like that. Yeah, the Badgers are the badasses, right? Yeah, and the divine feminine can be fierce also, right? And say I can't hack here, but hi, Mary, by the way. But the Climate Act has a provision that could control available purchase silver. Forced to report how much you have, seized it at cost. Silver would be the most interesting. Yeah, there's so many different moving parts. Yeah. I look into Peter. Oh, that's a beautiful duet with Kate Bush. Yeah. Yeah, he had some great stuff after he left Genesis. So it's almost like yeah, from one great band became two great bands when he left. It's sort of how I look at it. And thank you. Hi, if I missed you earlier, best of anyone still have any recommendation for best mineral-based jewelry pieces? Yeah, so people can answer that. Out of a lost world. So we're still talking about music. Oh, I'll bet, yeah. In Your Eyes was a big song. I'm trying to think. Oh, he has a song called San Jacinto, which, talk about moving somebody to tears, when I heard that. And apparently, San Jacinto is in California, right? I think it's in the San Joaquins. And apparently Peter Gabriel visited, and he was so touched with the energy of the Native Americans. He did this song, and it's really like one of the powerful lines is like, I hold the line of strength that pulls me through the fears. San Jacinto, I hold the line. The tears roll down my swollen cheeks. I feel like I'm losing, getting weaker. I hold the line. So it's really about holding those old traditions of the people that were once free on this land, and holding those traditions in our heart, because as we transcend, those traditions are going to have more value. Even if we get more like modernized and more digitally oriented, those old traditions of the native people. So that's in his fourth album, the one that if you know the hits, that's the one that Shock the Monkey came from, about animal testing and all that. But with Peter Gabriel, all of his music, it's very layered. There's always multiple meanings. And that's the sign of true genius. So there's always like different layers of meanings in this music. Beautiful. But anyway, are we ready to do a transmission? Oh yes, the Tucson show. Yeah. Very good. Don't Give Up. I love that song too. Yeah. Um Yeah, the musicians are. Yeah, the geniuses are like that. Peter Gabriel is one of many musical geniuses out there. Um, sorry, what's that about Weller? Senses and see there is no truth in those who promote the confusion. Yeah, truth. Music's always been that way. It's always been bringing people together. The color barriers dissolve. It's like who remembers Doc Watson? Yeah, probably one of the greatest under the radar guitarists of all time. He's blind also. I got to see him when he was like 80 years old. He blew me away. But anyway, let us get nice and relaxed. So I work with a group called the Master Teachers. For those that are new, they're interdimensional, so they blend with my energies. I blend with theirs, and when I'm in the channel, they're able to what's the right word? Accelerate my energetic flows. And if we're all together, they're able to assist you, in raising the vibrations, the natural energy flow. So anyway, just take a couple of deep breaths. Inhaling love and light, exhaling, releasing stresses, worries, all that stuff that we don't need anymore. Getting nice, relaxed, and open. As we work with the energy of the snake to shed the old skin, to transmute the poisons of the shadows, of the abuses and traumas we suffered in this and other lifetimes, to the medicine of spiritual growth, awakening, and awareness, so that we can enter into the year of the horse, which is much more forward moving, forward thinking, especially with the element of fire. So I know since my hands are coming up, that means the master teachers are blending with me, and we're transmitting the energies now as I'm speaking. So yes, keep going. We are going to work with you energetically to assist you in raising your vibrations, increasing the flows through you and around you, to give you that extra light, that extra energy, that extra spark, as it were, to clear that which shall be cleared, that should be, that would be, that will be. So just relax. We will do some toning in a minute. We work with frequencies of sound and light simultaneously through our energetic transmissions. And the sound is translated through this channel, working with his voice box, as it were, which obviously has its limitations. But we're still able to get the proper frequencies through. And you shall experience that in a moment. So we are raising the frequencies. We will say this from time to time, let you know that we are energetically with you, working with you to increase the flows of energy, as well as heighten the frequencies of energies flowing through you. And those higher frequencies allow you to tap into higher vibrational realities, higher dimensional realities, where different truths, different aspects of your own being reside, different levels of your own being that you may and are not aware of at this time, except in glimpses, but exist. For you exists on many different dimensions, many different frequencies, but your attention is on the physical frequency at this time. But the others exist. So relax, breathe, allow. And as we were talking about earlier, feeling your body and finding where are areas of energy that may be lower or stuck. Obstructive may be a word. It may appear or feel darker. These energies within your auric field and your physical body are reflections of the shadow and the shadow aspects. The suppressed traumas, energies of this and other lifetimes. The physical environment, your classroom. The physical body, though, can experience pain and discomfort. It's meant to teach you, not to torture you. Same on the emotional body and the mental bodies. They're all interconnected. And this is your time, dear ones, to transcend those obstructions of this and other incarnations in your soul's record. So feel and place gentle focus on those areas. Trust what you get, even if you feel like you're making it up. Trust it, because you are in an ascended state right now. You're picking up on that. And place your focus on that areas, and we will help you to assimilate that into the light so that you may receive its blessings, its knowledge, its wisdom, so you may transcend it and rise in frequency and ascend. Relax, allow, breathe. Your As we work with you to vibrate frequencies on those areas of obstruction, they become homogeneous with the energetic fields and cleared. The experiences, dreams, impressions, feelings that come up in the next 48, 72 hours will be revealing it's to the nature of that which you are transcending at this time. Knowledge is power, but this is intrinsic knowledge, soul knowledge, spiritual knowledge, not knowledge you find in the book, but knowledge that you find in the book of life that exists within the heart, within the frequencies of the heart, mind, and spirit connection that you are all part of and possess, but may have forgotten due to your socialization. Relax, breathe, and just feel your whole body bathed in beautiful golden white light now. And feel that expansive light through your cleansing, cleared, and vibrationally happy body and energetic fields, expanding from deep within the heart, from the antimatter or antithesis, or is these the right words? The inner void, light on the void aspect of your being shining out brilliantly through your heart, brilliant light expanding all the way out to the entire universe, connecting inner and outer universe and becoming one with divine source, spirit, God, the quantum field. And just hold that light for a moment, breathe, relax, allow the flows to naturally go through you with unimpeded, meaning the energies will feel stronger. There's nothing to jam up the flows. The flow wants to heal you, wants to bring you back to the perfection that you are before the programming ever affected your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical body. The flow is consciousness, an aspect of the divine source, expressed through energy. The Holy Spirit, perhaps. Transmission, knowledge, information through energetic. Help you to flow, to be more fluid and elastic, to handle these higher energies. See, as the energies continue to spike up, it's important that these cogs are cleared with higher energies. If there's cogs, it can exacerbate problems. The energies will increase, whether you're clear or not. To be clear means to gracefully ascend. To be clogged means to have a lot of bumpy experiences along the way. It's hard to feel the energy ground. It's hard to feel your essence in the earth, in your earth star chakra, just below your feet. or if you're on your floor or bed, below the base of your spine, just in the shallow earth. Connecting your divine source and self with your physical being. Grounding, centering, and then the base of your auric fields, open up the tailpipe, let any excess static energy from this brief transmission drain out into the earth. Take a few deep breaths. When you're ready, open your eyes. So Monday, for those of you that are in Spirit Mind Family, tomorrow night, that's our live video. I'm probably just going to do some transition and some transmission work. Continue what we did here. That's on Patreon. So when on the pinned comment, there'll be information on how to join. Tuesday is the 2026 complete psychic forecast. So we're going to do that also 8 o'clock Tuesday evening. And that's always a big event. A lot of people tend to show up for that. And then we'll have more goodies as the week goes on. So anyways, thank you, everybody. Next time I see you on Tarot Time, it'll be next year. Anyway, yeah, the year's going to be interesting. And, I don't have I don't think I have any certificates for my silver. I did have silver. All right, anyway, I'm ending the stream. Love you guys. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.